Really? Now you can see me. Happy Wednesday to the Ravery Sports Podcast. All of you guys like and subscribe to all of our social media content. So about 5 minutes late here, but we're still here. Thank you very much for joining us all week for all of our social media content. A lot of stuff happening right now. The NFL is about to start up. We're going to have preseason games, first NFL preseason games here this week. Orioles are still going into a phase where now we're going to start seeing the cup of coffee from the minor league prospect, Basayo, Beavers, and all that, etc. Seeing that, we're going to have Terps games here in a couple of days. Here at the end of the month, we're going to have our Maryland preseason preview here on the 24th of August. So definitely check that out here right the week before the games actually start. So definitely check that out. So a lot going on here. Definitely see Charles Harris. We are LegalShield.com. So definitely check that out as well. So if you do need legal assistance anywhere you are, not just in Winchester, but or Baltimore or wherever you are, definitely see Charles Harris. We are Legal Shield. NFL preseason predictions. You see that rolling across the bottom of the screen. August 31st, 2025. So definitely check that out there. August 21st, 2025. We are Legal Shield as well, but the NFL preseason predictions video is there as well. ravorisports.company.site. If you have been looking at our Instagram, the Ravery Sports Instagram, which you should subscribe to, go ahead and check that out. You've been seeing the links to Fanatics as well. So you can go to NFL Shop and Fanatics. Just click the link and then go ahead. You get something for that. But there's a plethora of Ravens, Orioles merchandise on there, and also to our rare spot, ravorisports.company.site. A little bit late because I had Genesis Delivery Services business to do tonight, so I was just doing that as well. Definitely, if you are in Winchester, thank all of you. Also, you in Frederick County, not just the city of Winchester. I get a lot of calls for the city. Frederick County, Clark County, all of you. I will serve those areas as well. Definitely check that out as well. So let's go ahead and talk a little about the Ravens training camp this week. So this is our second week of training camp as well. So we're going to have a game tomorrow. Our first game, Ravens and the Colts are going to start in the preseason, are going to have the preseason game tomorrow. I have not heard yet of who's starting in the game. I would believe it's Devin Leary or Cooper Rush tomorrow, going the whole way there. So just keep that in mind. So with that, so starting since last Thursday, Jalen Armour-Davis and Ballard Cone returned to practice on Thursday, so they missed several days. During training camp, you do see guys missing time, missing games, missing whatever. That's not crazy or unusual. You do see guys in that situation do missing some time because of just it's hard to tell in camp sometimes if guys are really, really hurt. Like if you have a situation like Isaiah, likely they'll announce it, but guys might miss a couple days, a veteran guy, whatever, they'll have a thing. So they came back to practice after missing several days last Thursday. Javonte Wester is a name that's coming up a lot. He's really looked good in camp. So very good for a late round pick, made a leaping catch in traffic over Robert Lagerbein, who's trying to make the team as well. He's impressed as a receiver. I think he's been very good. I think the punt return they've been extremely impressed with, and also too as a receiver they've been very impressed with. So Lagerbein, I always thought he kind of had a rough hill to make the 53. I don't think he does. I do think probably that if the Ravens have their way to keep him as practice squad, I don't know if another team's going to pick him up. But the defense has been very good overall as well. Very good defense. Lamar made a special throw doing eluding pressure in the pocket. Throwing caused by they find Mark Andrews. Also, veteran John Jones had a tackle for a loss with QB pressure off a wobbly pass from Lamar. Lamar's still fast. Let's get that out the way. Some people, I've seen a couple of articles where some people are like kind of surprised that Lamar still has this really good speed, being that he is an older guy. So he's been in the league. This is year 8 now for him. This is season 8, and he's still outrunning guys. So he's still showing great speed in there as well. Still showing great speed throwing across his body. John Jenkins has been good in practice. The defense has been good as a whole. That is a theme as well. So I think I think they're pretty good on the offensive line. I think they pretty much know where they want to do. Saturday, after having a strong start to the game, Jair Alexander had 2 interceptions that day. Both takeaways ignited a celebration like that. So 2 interceptions by that. I think Nate Wiggins had one as well, interception. So Lamar had 3 picks that day on the Saturday practice. Very, very rare that you see that. Like you'll have a Lamar Jackson practice and there won't be any interceptions. Anything like that. So for Jair Alexander to get him twice, Jair Alexander's looked fantastic in camp so far. Fantastic. So I think like 1 year, $6 million. I mean, we don't even need to say if this is an upgrade over Brandon Stevens. Do we? I mean, this is obviously a guy who is outstanding. One of the better cornerbacks in the league. He's taking a discount to win a world championship to play with his college teammate Lamar Jackson as well. Defense has really good, look good, period, all camp against Lamar as well. And it's not like the Lamar's look bad either, but it's very rare you see that even in practice with Lamar. Zay Flowers and Rashard Bateman both at practice Saturday after missing practices, but DeAndre Hopkins had the catch of the day, leaping up in the air, high-pointed ball from Lamar. So I had to make sure the space was there. I think all the receivers have been good. They've all kind of missed some time. I don't know if that's by design. That concerns me a little bit that they're all kind of missing time. It could be just rationing to be taking easy on guys. Like I said, in camp, you're not all the way sure if guys are really, really hurt or if they are giving them a day. So you're not sure. But I would say they have been really good. The receivers have been really good when they have been playing. Looking for an undrafted. The Ravens have a history of undrafted free agents really doing well. Ruben Lowry continues to have a nose for the ball. Big collision with Xavier Hillary down the sideline as the 2 fought for the ball on a deep pass from Devin Leary. Lowry continues to impress. I have him at corner. He's played some safety. I don't know if they keep many safeties at his spot. I think he's impressive as he's been in camp. I don't know if there's a spot for him. Even maybe there's one with the injury to Adarius as well. We're assuming that, Kyle Hamilton, Malachi Starks, now the name escaped me. Bo Braid and Xavier Kane, Susie Kane is going to be there. So there may be one safety spot. There may be an extra corner. but he's looked good. I keep hearing this name over and over as well in camp. So interesting to see that. The John Harbaugh guy, Brent Irvin, is back. He was re-signed. He came back to practice. I think it was for the stadium practice, right for the stadium practice on Sunday. And they went ahead and signed. Well, go ahead, cut John Hoyland. So we'll get to that in a second. I'll circle back to that. But John Hoyland, second-year linebacker, Adisa Isaac had a good day with a pass breakup and a few tackles behind the line of scrimmage. So John Hoyland pretty much assures now that Tyler Loop is going to be the kicker. We're going to get to Loop in a second, but that's John Harbaugh, when he's asked the question, he kind of talked around it. Well, maybe we'll circle back. I don't think they're going to circle back. I think they pretty much decided. I do think roster did influence this a little bit. I think the needs of the roster influenced this some. I am thinking, though, that Tyler Loop had played well enough to where they were comfortable with this to actually move forward. Brent Urban, I think, is for sure on the team. He's a John Harbaugh guy. They may pull a move where they cut him, but he'll be back. Right? He's not retiring. He's going to stay, give him a little less camp. He's a vet. He doesn't need it. So they're doing that. Speaking of Tyler Loop, since you brought it up, they were yelling, Loop, there it is. In the state, I see that already. 60-yarder received a hug from Coach John Harbaugh and a dap up. That's fist pound for those of you who don't know what that is. For Lamar Jackson, Loop has been good in camp for the most part. Clearly, of the two kickers they had, he has the better leg. So, again, though, temper your enthusiasm a little bit, Raven fan, understand that this is not going to be it is going to be a process with Tyler Loop. It's not going to be Justin Tucker. He's a rookie kicker. It is going to be a process, but they're going to go with Tyler Loop. I mean, the way he's looked so far, they're going to continue to go with Tyler Loop. This was a guy, there were only two kickers picked in the draft. Andres Morales is up in New England and Tyler Loop. So I think they're ready to go with that. He's looked good enough in camp so far as well. Lamar had a strong day at the stadium practice as well. Pinpoint all over the field, no turnovers, including a dime to keep Kirkwood down the left sideline. So we're not worried about Lamar. He had the one bad day. He had a great day in practice. Lamar's looked great. I think no complaints from Lamar. Is in great shape. Looked ready to go. He's been very good in practice. Keaton Mitchell, 100% burst is back. Mitchell had a very impressive jump cut on several defenders, eventually spun out of a TJ Tampa and Bo Bree tackle. Hearing this more and more, how good Keaton Mitchell looks in camp. So that's good news. Keaton Mitchell, interesting to see how much he plays during the season. You got two guys there. Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell, who are very, very good. They're very strong players as well. So Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill should play. But it's good news that we're seeing a lot from Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell does have a shot, I think, to win the second job behind Derrick Henry. I say that because he's such a it's such a diversity between the two. So you have a big, strong guy like Derrick, and then you have just blazing speed. So it'll be tough to get them on the field. Interesting to see how they get up. Cooper Rush Monday had his best practice, making the most of opportunity with the first team offense, 11-11 work. Zipped the ball down the seam to Zay Flowers, who had a step on Marlon Humphrey for the touchdown. So Lamar didn't practice really Monday. They had Cooper Rush in. Rush is still learning the offense. A little bit of a mixed bag. I'm not too concerned, but he's still getting the playbook. He's played his whole career in Dallas. So he really hasn't played with the Ravens here. Again, I think there's some things work out. I think you're going to see him more in practice. I think you are going to see him a little bit in preseason, but I think for the most part, you're going to see Devin Leary. Of course, John Harbaugh is not saying how he's going to go, blah, blah, blah. But that is something that you're definitely going to have to go ahead and look at there as well. And again, when you talk about Devontez Walker continued to display his quickness and ability to separate on several catches on several catches that afternoon. So I would put that down there. So I think he has looked really, really good in crack. This is a late pick, 6th round as well. They're getting more than what they thought. I think him and Tyler Loop, you're counting a lot on guys on improving a part of your team that wasn't as good last year. And so you're going ahead and improving that as well. So I do believe that Wester is going to be your day one guy as far as starting on your team. As far as the punt return, and he's going to contribute some at the wide receiver spot as well. Who won this week? So we can talk about that, who won, who lost, etc. But 3 names, definitely Jair Alexander. Defense doing well against the first-team offense. That's well. So that's the thing. Jair Alexander, I think, has been, you could argue, he's been the star of the camp here so far. Jair Alexander's looked good. He did miss some time with the injury, so that's a little bit of a concern. But it's well. So we will see about that as well. Tyler Loop. There it is. They're already saying it. So Tyler Loop has won the kicking job. I think he's going to be your starter. They cut John Holland. I think that's good for him that he went ahead and has the starting job as well. And I think Keaton Mitchell, I think we just talked about it as well. He is going ahead and getting that job as well. Keaton Mitchell, I think, has been really good here so far in camp. I'm really curious to see what happens there. I really am. It'll be interesting to see what the net of it is as far as that goes, as far as Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill, how that turns out, how it turns out for them in their careers going forward. Hill has the extension, but Keaton Mitchell was really good as of late. Also, week 2, 2 names I have: Ben Cleveland, John Harbaugh. I didn't believe this for a second. He said Andrew Voorhees is ahead of the left guard competition. I don't buy it for a second. I don't think Cleveland is a real competition. When I think he wants Andrew Voorhees to believe that's a real kicking competition. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to just hand him the starting job. Right? He wants the competition. He wants that to believe that this is a real kicking competition. But I don't think it is. I think he's going to start Voorhees. But I think he wants to push him a little bit. Teddy Buchanan, I'm not hearing your name enough. This is supposed to be also to a competition at inside linebacker as well. So Teddy Buchanan, I'm not hearing that a lot. I'm hearing a lot about Lowry. I'm hearing that as well. Trenton Simpson basically has gotten all of the lion's share. We haven't got to games yet, but I really can't say yet. We'll see. Some guys do pop in games as well before and not really in practice. So it'll be interesting to go ahead and see that. Those were 2. It was harder to pick a third. I really just had 2. Those are the 2 names for me that really stuck out. So there you go. Week 2 of camp condensed in a few minutes. Ravens look good. I think the joint practice with the Colts, I think, was okay. Nate Wiggins got into a fight, skirmish on the field. I love that. I think of Orlando Brown every time I hear they're fighting with a guy. Orlando Brown, late round pick. I'm talking about Zeus Senior. Got into a fight because he was a late round pick. He wanted to get noticed. He would start just smacking people in practice as well. Defense has looked good. I'm ready. So I think the offense is ready. Not too concerned. Big thing is moving along with no real injuries, knock wood. Isaiah Likely notwithstanding, I don't think he'll be there week 1, but I think they'll have Isaiah Likely early in the season at some point, week 2, week 3. All right. So let's get to business here. And the top 10 list, defensive tackles in the NFL, the interior, that includes you 3, 4 ends. Again, this year I just kind of went more with instead of paring it down 4, 3, 3, 4. Paring it down, it's harder. Teams playing now 5 defensive backs to consider them starters, 2 linebackers, less linebackers on the field, etc. There's some differences, but interior as well. Top 10 defensive tackles, it's pretty hard. Pretty good group here at this position. Sometimes this is kind of like safety in some sense where it depends on the scheme and the team and a couple things like that where I think – honestly, I think past the top 3, I don't know if you could put these guys and have the same success on any team. But interesting to see that. So let's go ahead and unveil it. Number 10 from the Squealers, Cam Hayward. I feel like some of y'all are going to say it's a little low for Cam Hayward. I do this and I kind of project what they're going to be in the year coming up. So you factor in what they've done. And you also factor in what's going to happen in the following year. Cam Hayward, I think you could argue he was the best defensive tackle in the NFL last year, the best defensive and interior player. So why is he 10? He's going to be 36 this year. So he's going to be 36. Now, that said, I think he deserves to be in the top 10 because I've been saying that the last couple of years. Like Cam Hayward's going to fall off. So I'm going to concede he stays in the top 10, a little bit ahead of Zach Zeitler of Miami, who just signed a big contract, who has like 10 sacks, so he's very underrated. Also, he was a former Ravens, but I have Hayward 10. I think he does slip in terms of age. I got to project that in, but Hayward, I think, stays in the top 10. He was really good last year. DeForest Buckner of the Colts. He's another one. I feel like I've kind of underrated him as well. He's been good for a long time, but Buckner has been one of the better defensive players on the Colts team. The Colts, I would say this. Their strength is and I have great fun with the Colts, but they're good inside. They're good like defensive tackle, inside linebacker, guards, things like that. They're good like up the middle. So they have that, and I think Buckner has really been the linchpin for them. They have that outstanding inside linebacker, Zaire Alexander, but he's been good for a while. Again, age, in his case, I have to factor it in. He's not old, but he's 31. I think he's more towards the end of his prime. But that's a guy I think is going to be very good for them. Derek Brown didn't play at all last year, but he was such a stud the year before on the Carolina team. They missed him dearly. Easily, I think, the guy, their best player. He's going to beat double teams and everything, etc. Derek Brown, I think, is going to make a big difference. Make a big difference for Carolina as well. They're going at Trent. She can't see. I didn't see. All right. And that will be on the podcast, family. All right. Derek Brown is going to be one of the best defensive tackles, I think, 8. I think this is a guy in his prime. He did miss a whole season, and the Panthers aren't a real good team, so that's a bit of concern. But this guy is going to go ahead and might be one of the best run-stopping guys in the entire league as well. Derek Brown, number 8. Leonard Williams is coming along. I think he's a little bit slept on because he's in Seattle. But I think Leonard Williams is one of the rising stars in the league as well. Now, he, again, is over 30. like some of these guys on this list. But massive guy. Like, it kind of reminds me of Vince Wilfork in his prime when I see him. Big, tall, 6'1", 310, little bit quicker version of a Vince Wilfork as well. And that's saying something. This guy was a stud. Certainly he's going to be on aggressive defense with Mike McDonald. Clearly, I think he's their best team. Kind of like the Colts the Seahawks are very good interior wise, inside tackle, guard, etc. They are good, and I think that's the strength of their team. So I think Williams, I think, is no joke. We know this guy, Raven fans. Nandi Matabuke, 25 million. 25 million. 25. Matabuke, not as good in terms of the stats last year, but he was fantastic, I think, as well. Takes double teams every play. Every time he comes on the field, he gets double teamed. He still had a bunch of stuff. He was good last year. I think, obviously, as many sacks as he had the year before, but teams were absolutely paying way more attention to him. He's got great speed, great burst, good pass rush, defensive tackle. That's what he is. And I think unlike a lot of guys on this list, unlike Hayward and all those other guys and some of those guys, that he's still very much in his prime. So Matabuke is, I think he's 27. I think that's right. I'm looking up here real fast. Yeah, he's 27 years old, so he's still got several more years in his prime. I think he's got several more seasons of double-digit sacks as well. Good against the run as well, but at his best, if you don't double-team him, he's going to blow it up for sure. Matabuke at 6. Jeffrey Simmons, same cop and paste. I think he's a little better against the run than Matabuke is on a down-to-down basis. That's why I have him a little bit ahead, even though I know he's known for his pass rush. About the same age, a lot of similarities as well, but I think a little bit better against the run, down to down. The same thing here, though. His sack totals really don't reflect how good of a pass rusher he is from the inside. You got to double team him a lot. If you don't double team him, he's going to make you pay. Very effective inside as well. He's also one, I think, reminds me a little bit of Trevor Price. I think you could actually put him outside in his case. 305 pounds. I think like on the certain teams, I think it would work. We could put him on the outside, like a 4-3 outside guy. He could get 10 sacks. He's got that type of strength, but very good. Not playing on a team, though, obviously, that's very good, but I think could probably the best defensive player in Tennessee. Really like Jefferson, really. Jalen Carter, sky's the limit for this guy. Eventually, I think he's going to be the number one guy. Not quite yet. Still a little green. Still kind of got to get his mind right at times, I think. That's the only flaw I see with him. And sometimes I see with Jalen Carter, as dominant as he is at times, he's still not as good as he could be. I think sometimes he just, that's all it is. Is he playing? Is he locked in every down? But the speed, power, agility, everything is there. Certainly, even as young age, like 24, takes a lot of double teams, moves past guys, good technique. I think Jalen Carter certainly, it wouldn't shock me if we're doing this 2-3 years from now, and he's the number one defensive tackle in the league, like without the question. So no question about that. Number 3, Quinn Williams of the Jets. Talked about Leonard Williams being the best run stopper. This one might be, I think, this is more of the pure run stopper, the nose. Quinn Williams, we talk about a guy like this. He's a guy definitely big, strong, physical. You're not going to run the ball with Quinn Williams around. It's good luck with that. He's not going to get you the sack totals. That probably he's going to get some sacks, but I really see him as more of a guy that's going to do well stopping the run. I think that is probably what he does best for the Jets. Jets, obviously, also too. I think he also too. Again, in defensive guys, you have to rank them sometimes. Like sometimes the players around them make them better, make them worse. I think more than it is on offense. It's if they had a better team on defense, I think you might see Williams in a higher spot on the list, and he's already a 3, so he's really good, obviously. Dexter Dexter Lawrence of the Giants, I think, is probably needs no introduction. This is what I have as the best offensive tackle, defensive tackle in the NFC. Williams is going to generate the sack totals. This is a guy, nothing missing here. In his prime, good offense, good stopping the run, great stopping, great rushing the pass, top 10. He's going to live in the top 10. Great speed as well. Huge, 340 some pounds as well. So he's not just this big guy, though, that doesn't have pass rush ability. He's just a run stopper. He is bigger than Quentin Williams, who I think is an outstanding run stopper, and he can rush the passer as well. This might be a really good line in New York. I don't know how many games they win, but you got Dexter Lawrence, you got Abdul Carter, you got Brian Burnt. That's pretty good. So I think that's going to help him as much as anything. He's got other great players on the line as well. But I think I'm still going to leave Chris Jones of the Chefs number one. Chris Jones, I think, is the best. He's the best, I think, in the league. I think his age may be a little concern. Other than that, he's beyond dominant in games. I mean, he just tosses around whoever he wants. You know how hard it is to toss around an offensive lineman. He does it every game. Like, you better he's the guy, he's the one guy I would say even the double teams don't work. Even the double teams don't work. When you're playing Chris Jones, 2 and 3 guys, I think this is why Carl Office is there with him, and he's actually doing more some weeks now. He just got a big contract. So I will say that Jones is number one. Little bit concerned because he's turning 31, but other than that, I don't have any concerns about it. There you go. Top 10 defensive tackles in the NFL as well. Defense still matters, okay? Everybody's running around saying that defense doesn't matter and da-da-da-da-da. You better have this. Any team that wins football games, you need to be good in the 2 positions we just covered. Offensive line, defensive line. Why did the Kansas City lose the Super Bowl last year? Offensive line wasn't any good. Defensive line wasn't any good. In the trenches is where it's won. So those are the best guys in the NFL. We just went over it in the trenches. So definitely check that out. This happened in the last 48 hours. So a lot of sports media news. We got that. So NFL and WWE news as far as what they used to call the Total Sports Network. And by the way, for those of you that don't know, they used to call it Entertainment and Sports Programming Network. Back in the 80s at ESPN, used to be all stations had to have a call sign, even cable stations had a call sign as well. So what's going on? Let's talk about the NFL. I think we talked a little bit about that last week. NFL Network is now being totally absorbed by ESPN. So what's going on? So they are going ahead and getting a 10% stake in the ESPN. They're getting a 10% stake in the organization. So I don't know what the dollar figure is, but the NFL is now owns a part of ESPN. They are going to have Red Zone. The guy scared me to death last night. I watched a little bit of the stream, the Driving to the Top last night, and they were talking about having Stephen A. and Booger on Red Zone. No. No, God. No, please no. Please leave Red Zone alone. That's probably the main thing all of us like. I'm not as big on Red Zone as other people. I still, because I watch like Ravens game start to finish. But Red Zone, when I have watched it, it's awesome. And you can't do that, chase Red Zone. So, but they are going to get NFL Network, NFL Films, all that stuff. ESPN now is going to streaming full time. I think the price point is $29 a month. I'm not sure. I think it's something like that. But they're going to streaming now So first time now here coming up in September, you can get ESPN without any cable subscription. So now you can get that. And the things they're building around is the NFL. So the NFL network, they're going to go ahead and absorb that as well. They've been cutting back on it for a while. I think this has been in the works for a while. I don't think this is a monopoly like people are saying. I don't. I mean, you could argue the NFL is, but I don't think much will change for that. I don't think that much will actually change from the network standpoint and all that other stuff. How they do it, etc. I think this is a look. The media, what a lot of these big entities find out in media is it's work. It's work involved, and the NFL they can pool resources. The NFL network doesn't make a lot of money for them. A lot of these members don't know how to run it, and ESPN does. This is what they do as well. But you can't change red zone. Don't do that. But I saw this. No way. That can't be. When I saw Big Rich, it's like, oh God, you can't. But Goodell, I think, has said this is probably not going to change right away, but we will see. But certainly there are going to be changes there. Where they talked about Stephen A. Smith, Booger are going to be on there. I'm sure there'll be roles for everybody because they're going to have a bigger footprint in the NFL, and they're going to have more games and all that, etc. I'm really interested to see in both cases. We're going to talk WWE in a second. What kind of access they're going to have to the NFL film stuff. I think that's kind of a thing too. I think they're going to have access to all that. They've kind of been talking more about red zone and all this stuff, but I'd like to see that as well. Now, also the move, WWE. This happened just today. This surprised me that they are now going to be taking over from Peacock, which was Comcast, now owns the rights to what I call still the WWE Network, the PLEs, former pay-per-views and all that. They are going to have all the rights to WrestleMania and all that stuff coming up here starting in 2026, that they're going to be the primary network for that. I'm really surprised. Really surprised because ESPN for so long, they were kind of used as the red herring, in my opinion, for wherever they were really going to do the deal with. So WWE has had their own network. They've done business with Comcast, Paramount Plus. They've done a lot of business here, but they never really did anything really with ESPN in all these years. They have had some content per se, but they haven't had the main Raw, SmackDown content and their pay-per-view. They haven't had that on ESPN. So I think they've had some stuff. I mean, they might have had spot shit, but they've never had this before. So now to go ahead and get it, you have to go to ESPN starting in 2026 on their streaming service and platform as well. Everybody's talking about the PLEs. I still haven't heard yet, and I'd like to hear. So if you know in the comments, I'd like to see the stats. I think this includes the network and stuff as well, because I like the older stuff, the old pay-per-views and all that stuff, the stuff that the network had. Peacock currently has that, so I'd like to see the status of that as well. This is brilliant by WWE, and I tell you why. Because with streaming, the difference is people cancel unlike a cable subscription, right? So I'll use Stars, for example. I watch Power when the Power season is on, and I don't need you. Once Power goes off, or Power Force, or watching Power Force, or Kanan, or Raising Kanan, or whatever it is. And now with WWE, it's year-round sport content, and people don't cancel because of that. So if you're there because of that, you'll keep it all year long, and a lot of people will go ahead and keep it all year long. NFL is king. We know that. They're going to get huge numbers. They've been doing huge numbers, so we know. But this is an opportunity for them to build up their streaming service as well. It's a little bit of a loss for you if you have only the streaming service, because this is going to be more expensive than Peacock was. Peacock was only like $10. I was only paying like $10 a month for Peacock, right? So this is going to be like $30 a month as well. But also too, and I'm sure, and I think this is true, that if you have the still have cable, like a lot of people, I don't, but a lot of people do, still have cable, I think you're going to get everything anyway. So this is just a net positive. So if those of you have cable, etc., or if you have YouTube TV or something like that, so it's not shutting you out either. But if you just want the ESPN standalone, it's going to cost you that. So I think this is brilliant on their part as far as WWE. These streaming services are losing a lot of money, and they got two things here that are going to make money. They're not going to lose money. One last thing, WWE also to great content for a network. You don't have to pay when you sign up for the NFL. The difference is, let's say, and I use CBS for example, or really any network, but when CBS has the rights to the NFL, you have to pay. You get the rights, but then you have to produce it. You have to go out and pay Tony Romo $20 million, Jim Nance $5 million, and then you have to pay all these production people and costs to stay and spend all this cost. Versus with WWE, you're spending $300 million a year. You don't pay for any of that stuff, right? So here and there, the networks pay for production, but they actually produce their own content. You have to pay and all that. So good for them. I think it's good for both sides. But it is a little more of a price point for fans. If you only have the streaming, that'll be a thing. But it'll bring in fans. I know that. All right. So that was news. So let's recap here. Let's go to our baseball summer here, and let's go ahead and get that squared away. No, sir, no buster. We'll put up with that. The first thing that has to change here is you, young man. You need to man up and start showing some respect. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play. All right. So, yeah, we got to play the music because it's time for baseball summer as well. And with our baseball summer, we've been doing our versions of action. So, and we talked last week about the Frederick Keys, who are going to be back in business with the Orioles. Good for them. Aberdeen is, matter of fact, and I mentioned that real quick since I mentioned it. Aberdeen is going to continue on with the team in Aberdeen. They are going to be now take the place. So they're essentially going to swap. So the Ironbirds will swap. They will be the draft league team, and they're going to go ahead and continue on. It'll save a little bit of cost there, and the Keys will now be the single A, high A team for the Baltimore Orioles. Now, let's talk about what happened last week while that was going on. We had the MLB trade deadline. Now, we talked about a lot of the Orioles stuff last week. So we've cleaned out our bullpen. If you've seen how it looked this week, my goodness. They cleaned it out. They traded away Greg Soto. They traded away Sir Anthony Dominguez. You traded away Andrew Kittredge. You traded away, like, your bullpen has been cleared out. You traded away Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano. You traded away him, two guys I think might have been most valuable Oriole, I think, as well. So you made a lot of trades. You got a lot of things. We covered a lot of that. But let's talk about the rest of the league as well. So I think one of the teams that really made a mark is the Padres. Mason Miller, JC Series from the Athletics, Leo DeVries, traded away for Leo DeVries, Brandon Nett, Henry Baez, and Miguel Nunez as well. So Pirates need to shore up that back end. I think this is a good move for him. Mason Miller, I'm just the biggest mark for Mason Miller. He's fantastic. He struggled a little bit early in this year, really gotten it together, really strong prospect. I doesn't cost anything. I can absolutely see the Padres committing to him over the long term. as well. Sears, I think, is going to help him out a little bit as well. Astros. This, I think, is just, I think Correa wanted this himself. I think they traded away Matt Malinsky on the 31st to acquire Carlos Correa. He says shortstop. He's been playing third base. Correa, I think, this is where he's had his most success in his career. I think this is the reason it's happening. The Twins traded away a lot of players, like a lot of players. So I think probably even more than the Orioles. So that's surprising considering the fact that they had so much success, like more successful. I mean, they weren't that bad. I mean, they could have possibly, I don't know if they would have won the division, but I think they still had a punch of shot. So for them to be that all in, I don't think that's what this is, particular trade. I do think it is going to be because of the fact that Correa waived his no trade, wanted to go back to Houston and play. He is going to play third base. Speaking of third base, since you brought it up, this is big. What's wrong in Seattle? Not enough offense. Eugenio Suarez was one of the trades, traded away for Tyler Locklear, Hunter Cranen, and Juan Burgos on July 30th. Needed offense. That's what's wrong. They're going ahead and they don't score enough runs. Why haven't you won playoff games? Why haven't you done what you needed to do? Is because you are not scoring enough runs. That's what's going on. And so they went out and got somebody that can go ahead and help them score runs. Did I put Josh Naylor? They got Josh Naylor. I don't think I put it here. But Josh Naylor was also a guy that went ahead and got placed first. So they're scoring more. And that's the thing that they have to do. You have to go out there and give it a shot here. They already love the closer entrant, right, for Joe and Duran in Philadelphia. So they definitely had their eyes, I know, on Felix Bautista, and they got Duran. He's going to be the guy that's going to come in the ninth inning for them. The Phillies, I think they're the best team in the MLB that I've seen this season. A good group of veterans. We know about Harper, Schwarber, Trey Turner, Rumilata, definitely Wheeler, Archie Suarez, even though they ranked Suarez wasn't good today. But this is their time there. They want to go ahead and actually do it. So this is a big move, I think. Getting a closer was so important for them as well. Another team needed help late in the innings was the Yankees. They get David Bednar for Rafael Flores, Edwin Perez, and Brian Sanchez as well. So bit up and down. Like, this was a guy not that long ago was really on the out, but he's really kind of resurrected himself. It looks like he's going to be in the eighth inning with Luke Weaver, but they must feel much better now considering they lost Clay Holmes last year. They go ahead and get Bednar. I think the Yankees are still the Yankees as far as that goes. They haven't looked great lately. I mean, that's obvious, but I think the pieces are there to go ahead and do that. And they need to get Judge back in the lineup as well. But I think the Yankees, that's a good, solid move. Merrill Kelly from the D-backs has been traded. Rangers are still hanging in. I think they get Cole Drake. They traded away Cole Drake, Gary Hageman, Mitch Brott on the 31st. So this also is a sign that they still think that they can go ahead and do some damage, do some things, actually going ahead and winning that division. So I think that division is still three to the post. So you see the Astros making moves, buying. You see the Rangers buying. You see the Mariners buying, right? So all three of those teams are trying to actually win and actually get things done there as well. Ryan Housley for the Cardinals as well. So late inning help. They actually went and also got Greg Soto. They got Hensley there as well. Jesus Bios, Nate Odom. Let me tell you something. Not a lot of major league trades, which surprised me, and not a lot of real prime prospects were traded. I noticed that. There was a lot of prospects traded. You saw a lot of top organization 20 prospects. You got to give up something, but I didn't see the real, Sam Basayo wasn't traded, right? Andrew Painter wasn't traded. Guys like that, you saw decent enough prospects, but I think this is why you didn't have some of the artillery and all that, not have expiring contracts. Blue Jays did something. I don't think they did enough, but they did get Shane Bieber from the Guardians. Bieber, I don't think is pitched all year long, but it's a good ad. I think this is kind of what the Blue Jays, they kind of always try and go under the radar when they sign players. So this is good under the radar guy, might help you down the stretch. Bieber, I think, is going to go and help the Blue Jays. A couple more. Ryan McMahon from the Rockies. I think this is actually a good player. I think McMahon actually kind of is going to give you some of the things that you thought you were going to get from Mayhew. McMahon has been good. Now, he has been in Colorado. It is tough to tell sometimes with the Rockies players when you move them out of there. But he's been really good for them. So interesting to see how that goes. Carmelo Duvall, another late inning guy for 4 Giants prospects. So we talked about Bender. We talked about that. They understand that the late inning has to get better. I do think they obviously need Judge, but I think the Yankees have done a lot. Thumbs up. Who do I give it to? The Mariners, I think, is one of the biggest winners. I saw a lot of people say that the Mariners were the best. I don't think they did as much as San Diego did. So San Diego, getting Ronald Hearn, getting Liriano, getting Mason Miller, getting Sear, I think they did the most. I do think they closed the gap with the Dodgers, who were awfully quiet. And I think the Yankees did well. I think they did what they needed to do. The Yankees have no hesitation about getting none. So I don't know. The Yankees don't have a problem with that. Also, 2 thumbs down. Brewers really didn't do anything at all. I think even the Cubs did a little something. These teams in the NL Central just inactive. Just don't do enough. Like, I don't know what the problem. They could have done, especially the stuff that was done. Kind of say this a lot. Dodgers, I think, did something. I think, though, not as much as San Diego. I think San Diego did close the gap. I think that's why they're a thumbs down, because they let San Diego got a little bit closer to them. Blue Jays, even though they got Shane Bieber, I didn't think they did enough. I think you have a chance in that division you've been in first. They didn't act like it. I think they got Shane Bieber. They tried to do something under the radar. So there you go. Out the Orioles deals, couldn't go over everything, but those were some of the bigger ones. I thought those were the top deals that went on at the MLB trade deadline. So now let's get to the Orioles. The Orioles report. Yes, the Orioles are still playing. Stuff is going on with the Baltimore Orioles. So let's go over that as well. Luis Vasquez last Friday was recalled from Norfolk, and they selected Jordan Adams. And from Chesapeake, Bowie selected Terrin Vavra. Terrin Vavra has been up and down so many times. This transaction wire is going to be, keep your eyes on it. It's going to see a lot. So, because now you're pretty much conceding, you're out of it. You're looking for guys to get playing time, and all that other stuff. So you're absolutely taking a look at that. Orioles did make an acquisition. They got Derek Enns from the Detroit Tigers. So what's the big deal here? He is an active major league reliever as well. So he's going to be in the bullpen, kind of filling in as best he can for some of the guys who lost. He was cut really by the Tigers. So essentially what happened is they made it a trade, cash considerations as well. So they went ahead and activated him. Ryan Noda, who actually had a big hit in one of the games, was claimed him off wages. After him to Norfolk, he has been up and down as well. Grayson, it's official, poorly kept secret. I put this on Twitter. Grayson's done for the year. Tony Azzaleo informed reporters going to have surgery. They're going to get him ready for 2025, 2026. I wouldn't hold my breath. This is very weird what's going on with Grayson. They haven't even really talked about it. They haven't really said anything, so it's been strange. I don't think he's there to start 2026. Personally, I don't think that happens, but we'll see. Ryan Noda, we mentioned he got a hit in one of the games in Norfolk because he was called up along with Taryn Vivera, also to Vidal Barjon. I don't know these guys that well. Was claimed off waivers, and also Carson Ragsdale from San Fran. Won't even linger there. Cade Povich was called up for the 15-day DL and he activated Barjon. Also two options, Houston Roth and Jordan Adams back to Norfolk. These guys are just killing time so they can expand the rosters. That's it. So they've been kind of doing this all year long, taking guys up, down, up, down, up, down. And I just think like this. Here's the next one. Jason Reitz, minor league contract as well. Evan Rodriguez for Kansas City. Houston Ross selected an option. Hidalgo, again, same thing. Hidalgo's like, it must be 4 or 5 times where he's been optioned, bought contract, up, down, then he's down again. And up, like, it's unbelievable. Brandon Young was brought up for the doubleheader. He's returned to Chesapeake. Like I said, we mentioned that some of these guys were brought up, brought down, etc. For that reason. Right after the deadline, Keegan Aiken was reinstated along with Adley Rushman. Hidalgo from Norfolk, they designated Jacob Stallings. Stallings is actually decent defensively, I think. Aiken, I think, actually got a chance to close. It's good to see Adley in there as well. Also, 2 signed, Ty Nib and Brian Omada. Rock on. Tyler O'Neill left the game with discomfort. He's scheduled to get more imaging done. Seems to be a daily thing with Tyler O'Neill. He's just fighting injuries all the time. Like if it was in the service, he used to call these guys a sick call ranger. Like doesn't matter. Always in sick call. Always in the infirmary. Always seeing the nurse. That's what Tyler O'Neill is. As good as he's been, and he was on a roll. Hitting. He was doing well. But he seems like he's a sick call ranger. He's always has these issues. Update, Tyler Manlino gives on Jorge Mateo and Gary Sanchez. Hopes that both will return in September as well. Mateo with the hamstring and Sanchez with the knee. I think you just want him healthy for 2026. I think you want to. That's the only reason I think you want to get him on the field. So on 2026, so they can come up and help you in 2026, or at least for themselves, they're healthy, so they can go out and get trade value for them. Or because they're going to be free agents, I think, in 2026. So get themselves back on the field. Alex Jackson can hit. I've seen enough. I think he's been good. I think he's got 9 doubles and all extra base hits. Gunnar Henderson has been good. Still not driving the ball. I'm going to put you in the good category, but you're not driving the ball, Gunnar. I think all year long on singles, doubles, seeing eye, stuff like that. Jordan Westberg has been really good all year long. Was good last week. Colt Hauser struggling offensively as well. Bad outing from Yadier Cano. I think he's the worst. The bullpen in general, though, just nothing there. You've traded all these guys up and down. There's really nothing in the minor leagues there, so it's nothing there as well. This week, Sacramento A's, you'll be home, and I'm calling them the Sacramento. I'm not calling the Athletics. In Sacramento, call them the Sacramento Athletics while they're in Sacramento this season and at least 2 more seasons, we think. The Mariners, I think I just said, might be the trying to win the American League West. I think one of the best teams maybe in all of baseball as well. And Trevor Rogers was great twice. Trevor Rogers was great in the loss, I think. 8 innings, complete game, first one since 2022. He was outstanding in that. Even though they lost 1-0, he gave up 1 run in 8 innings. He was great again today. I don't think he was as good, but really good. 100-some pitches as well, and only gave up the 1 run in 6. Did get the win. I think Rogers, it might be, if we go, the number 1 guy in 2026 as far as he could be your opening day starter. He's been that good. ERA under 2. All just fantastic. So many times. Thank you very much for joining us here for the Ravery Sports Podcast. 33 of you. So all of you that are watching, especially those of you that are watching on Twitter, do me a favor. Go to Ravery Sports Podcast on YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe. Check out Ravery Sports Podcast and Spotify and subscribe there as well. Enjoy the games, guys. You have a great day.